Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to let you know why I think the KV-5 is possibly the most fun you can have with 8,000 bonds in World of Tanks. You might have seen my best moments video recently and seen lots of KV-5 highlights, and that's because this thing, it's just absolutely magical. It doesn't work every time, but when it does, it just seems to be able to do these redonkulous things that no other premium tank can really do. I think it's really hard to explain when it comes down to the statistics of this tank. I think it's just that it has this magical idiot appeal that just promotes fun and stupidity inside the game. And if you, when you get confident in the vehicle and you're willing to just not really care and just go in and have a little bit of fun in a premium tank, and what's the worst thing that can happen? You make a few credits in the game and then you go and play another tank. This thing is just absolutely god tier. So the KV-5 is as old as the game pretty much. I think it was available for 7,500 gold when the game first came out. The reason why this vehicle is special is because it has preferential matchmaking, so it never has to meet tier 10s. So that's really nice because all of the vehicle statistics are kind of focused towards dealing with equal or hopefully lower tier vehicles. Today I want to show you a game when I'm playing against tier 9 tanks. So this matchmaking is as bad as it could be. Sure, I guess there could be artillery, maybe there could be some Concept 1Bs on the enemy team, but to all intents and purposes, this is as bad as you'll ever have to deal with when it comes to the KV-5. Now, firstly, I'll talk about some of the drawbacks of this tank. 196mm of standard pen, not great. Used to be 167 back in the day, however. And also, while the armor is very thick, talking about 180mm at the front, 150 at the side of the hull, and 190 and 180 all round of the vehicle, meaning that when you get into those juicy matchups against tier 6 and tier 7 tanks, they literally can't pen you unless they have gold rounds and they fire at your weak points. And not that many players have great aim. Not that many players are spamming gold rounds, at least all the time. Yeah, there are a few, and sometimes it does feel as if people are firing gold rather than not firing gold quite a lot. But this is just why I love this tank. Why not, you know? Why not just go in and shunt a higher tier heavy tank to death? And that is what is special about this vehicle, is when you set the tank up like me, you have ridiculous mobility, ridiculous durability, and also, because of the vehicle's fantastic base damage per minute, which is 2,100, you don't really need a gun rammer, you don't really need vents or to be able to pump up the rate of fire of this vehicle, but you could have a build to play the tank in that way. Personally for me, I love setting my KV-5 up like an idiot, and since I did, I've actually been having my best results on this tank, and also having more fun than I think I've ever had, really, in World of Tanks in a premium tank. And you can see that in the best moments videos, right? Always seems to be a KV-5 highlight. Just having 2,200 hit points by using the durability device and having fantastic mobility by also using bounty protection technology, which means that I don't take a repair kit on this vehicle. Now, you might be asking, well, why do you take the protection technology? Well, the reason why I do that is not only does it protect my engine and my fuel tanks, my ammo rack, it means that when my engine gets damaged, the impact on the mobility of my vehicle is significantly reduced. Now, if you don't have access to a bounty protection technology, what you could go for instead would be putting it inside the durability slot and then just having slightly less hit points and less track health. But I would personally recommend, if you can get one, to get one of the bounty protection technologies and put that in the third slot, and then put the durability inside the first slot, because you want to maximize your hit points. 2,200 hit points means that I can have lost 1,000 hit points and I still feel like I'm a juggernaut around the battlefield. Other tier 8 heavy tanks would have to start to play safe after they lose 1,000 hit points. I've still got half left to give against my opponents. Now, when you set the vehicle up like this, what you want to do is then not use a repair kit, in my opinion. It might make the vehicle a little bit more vulnerable if you do get ammo racked, but remember, the bounty protection technology protects that a little bit. Hopefully you've got safe stowage as well. And also, when you do get ammo racked, the penalty is reduced because of the protection technology. And then this allows you to use speed governors on the vehicle. And I've been running them continuously now for 4.5 minutes, and our engine hasn't been damaged yet. And that is with also possibly some of the damage that our tank has taken from some of the shells. And there we go. 4.5 minutes of continuous engine burning. And you might be thinking, oh, now QB, you're stupid, you've not got a repair kit and your engine damaged. And sure, while my engine power will be slightly reduced, probably by 15% compared to if I didn't have the speed governors activated on this vehicle, I can just continue to run them now, and it doesn't really do anything. And you're going to see that, well, certainly my KB5 is not the super springy goat that it previously was. This is turning through water, and I'm driving along still at 30 kilometers an hour. This is not a slow tank by any means, even after you lose the engine. Alright, well, this is looking a little grave. I've decided to pick a fight with a full health KB5 and also with a Kunze-Panzer on the enemy team. Well, okay, may the best tank win. Alright, you ram me? No, I ram you. Somehow, I guess it's a draw. Actually, I do slightly more than him, probably because of the controlled impact that I have on the vehicle, which is mandatory. I'm trying to decide who I should shoot here, KV5 or should I go for the Kunze-Panzer? In retrospect, I probably should have gone for the Kunze-Panzer there rather than the KV5, because the Kunze-Panzer just put 396 gold pen on me. He rams me for 342 to himself, which allows me to nearly finish him off before the T-34-3 manages to put the hit in, and I am still alive. Just one more bounce, please, as this KV5 bounces round after round. I show some really poor marksmanship there at the end of the battle, but what more is there to say? How much more damaged could I possibly be? This tank just has a magic force field, and it just keeps going. Setting this vehicle up like an idiot and just playing like one somehow works on this tank. It's a very friendly vehicle for a new player because of that, but it's also incredibly good in the hands of a competent player who knows how to play a little bit crazy. And most importantly, it's just fun. I don't know about you, but I've become a little bit serious recently in World of Tanks, thinking, oh, what's the best way to spend bonds? How can I maximize all of my time by taking part in Wargaming's events? And spoilers, this thing actually makes some of those events very fun indeed, especially if Wargaming decide to bring back some arcade cabinet. I hardly ever spend bonds on anything apart from bond equipment to make my tanks a little bit better. So one day I decided to say screw it, and I bought the KV5 on my free-to-play account. And to say that this vehicle is more competitive than vehicles like the 122TM and Borask, I'd be lying, at least with regards to having those consistent games where you're just pulling out huge combines and maybe even getting a stonking win ratio. However, for pure fun and being able to blow off a little bit of steam when everything seems to be going wrong in your garage, I cannot think of spending 8,000 bonds in a better way. And if you want to emulate what I've done, here is exactly how I've done it. First field mod you take is improving your ground resistances to help your mobility, take accuracy after that, take view range because artillery isn't really a thing anymore, plus you've got a medkit to be able to remove the stuns, and take the mobility slot if you're not going to be using a bounty turbo. Then put your durability device in your survivability slot, the turbo in your mobility slot, and then you want to use bounty protection technology. Why this is important is because it actually improves your internal module durability by 150% compared to the regular one, which improves your internal module durability by 100. And remember, because you're going to be burning your engine health actually goes up to 720 with regular. However, if you use the bounty protection technology, your engine health goes up to 900, which allows you to use that speed governor for a very long period of time and not have to worry about your engine getting wrecked. And furthermore, it means that when your engine gets wrecked, or if you lose your ammo rack, that you have 70% reduced penalty from that occurrence rather than the regular bounty protection technology, which will do minus 50%. If you don't have access to this bounty piece of gear, then I would firmly recommend that instead you put the durability device inside your third slot. You'll lose a few hit points, but it'll be less significant. And then I'd recommend that you put the regular modification inside your survivability slot so you can still get that extra engine health. Otherwise, those speed governors are going to be a big pain for you. And because of dual equipment setup, there's nothing stopping you from having a second, more normal build, maybe with a gun rammer, durability, and vents for when you don't need excessive mobility and you just want to crank up this vehicle's near best in class base damage per minute. But I personally never do that because while I love DPM in World of Tanks, I only want to take the KV5 out onto the battlefield for one reason, and that is a lot of fun. So this was an ace tanker for the KV5 in a sub 6-minute game. We've got 1,981 base experience with 5,700 damage dealt and 5 vehicles vanquished on the enemy team. And while we spammed a lot of gold in this game, we made 135,000 credits profit, as this thing has a really high economic value with regards to how many credits you get for its damage, as well as blocking enough damage to destroy this vehicle a couple of times over. And of course, something that will happen a lot for you, a kamikaze medal, because there aren't many tier 8 premium tanks that like to ram kill higher tier heavies. As this vehicle weighs 100 tons, and it's one of the heaviest tanks in the game. And it's only really the German super heavies and the Japanese that can come close to comparing to the meatiness of the KV5. But I'd like to finish this video by clarifying that don't think that this KV5, again, is going to be the most competitive vehicle. Sure, it's averaging a 49.6% win ratio, way higher than vehicles like the Carnarvon Action 10, the Lerva, the Patriot, but it isn't going to be an I win button kind of tank for you. You're going to have to learn the magic of it, but once you have, again, it's not going to be a Skoda T56 and give you free wins, but at least in my opinion, it's going to be oh so much more fun. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite tank for just kicking back and having some fun? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.